And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark Hall. Today is our first freeze warning, and taking a look at our current temperatures right now in western Maryland, and that is where we could be really talking about, yes, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now, snow. Let's head over to meteorologist Scott Sumner in for Damon Matson today. And Scott, what can we expect with this warning?
Well, I tell you what, certainly if you don't see any snow or snow flurry activity here, Mark, which is pretty much, you have to be about 1,500 feet in elevation to see that for tonight and over the next couple of nights. But certainly colder air is going to be moving on. And as you can see there, the big picture, the chill off to the west and the real cold air up towards the Great Lakes is being seen. And I've had this animated over the last couple of hours to show you that the temperature did rise up actually to 70 degrees today. Yeah, with a little sunshine, but then temperatures are now falling, so we're sitting as we get into the hour here, 5 o'clock. We're sitting at 66 degrees and 50s out towards the west. And it's all compliments of this front that's moving on through. I'll show you the radars coming up in a little bit. There has been a line of some showers and a little heavier rain as well, moving through parts of the eastern shores of Maryland, western shores of Maryland. But this is going to push through overnight tonight and push those rain showers out away from the region. Now, behind the front, we've got some winds to contend with, and you can see some wind speeds that I plotted here. They've been pretty much steadily in the 20 to 25 mile an hour range in around Detroit and Toledo, Cleveland, and further up towards Milwaukee. So these winds are moving in our direction as well as that cold air. So while we're not seeing that type of wind speed in our backyard at the moment, we are going to be seeing winds increasing as well. So it's one of those hold on to your hat type of days for your Tuesday. So that leads us to the wind chill factor. When you take the temperature, you plus add in the wind speeds, it's what it actually feels like on the exposed skin. So what does it actually feel like at Cleveland? It's into the 30s, middle 30s right now. While we're not seeing those type of temperatures just yet, it is headed our way, that colder air. We'll talk more about that. We've got a lot to show you here in the weather forecast. We'll talk about the pipes and how to protect those and all that good stuff coming up in just a little bit. Mark?
Okay, Scott, thank you. More fallout tonight from a federal report on failures at the D.C. Housing Authority. The Department of Housing and Urban Development cites dozens of problems, and in the last few days there have been harsh words from the Attorney General and City Council members. Now, this is a hot topic among city leaders as they work to fast-track solutions, and tonight we're learning about how D.C. is taking action to address the problems. The mayor maintains that the city is looking into the issue, and ELISSA Gale has the details.
Residents for years have testified before the authority about unsafe and unsanitary conditions in their homes.
Council members are getting more vocal about the D.C. Housing Authority, which is accused of violating federal law, lacking oversight, proper financial management, and maintaining unsafe and unhealthy conditions for residents. On Monday, Councilmember Anita Bonds chimed in, saying she will propose extensive changes to the structure, governance, and operations of the agency. She is the chair of the Committee on Housing and Executive Administration.
The Office of Attorney General has brought suit against DCHA not once, but twice.
Tenants at Potomac Gardens in the Capitol Hill area confirmed to DC News Now that they are unhappy and frustrated with the living conditions.
All they do is just constantly put Band-Aids on stuff, Band-Aids.
DC News Now asked Mayor Bowser about those issues again on Monday.
And the council members have been voicing some concerns about the HUD report. What are your thoughts on that?
I've spoken to that already.
She was referring to last week's press conference where she said,
So we know that the authority has to submit a corrective action report within 60 days, and we know that before that even, they have been working diligently on the agency's transformation.
In recent days, Councilwoman ELISSA Silverman and D.C. Attorney General Carl Racine have partnered to introduce emergency legislation. Under their proposal, they want to increase training requirements for its Board of Commissioners, require frequent reporting on housing conditions, and more.
That was Annalisa Gale reporting, and Councilmember Silverman and the Attorney General Racine's emergency proposals will be voted on around 1 p.m. tomorrow in a legislative session. And right now, we know the name of a teen murdered over the weekend in Frederick, Maryland. The 14-year-old victim is Kamani Andre Dove was shot Saturday morning in the chest. He was killed inside an apartment on Waverly Drive, and according to police, they have not made any arrests, and they're not talking about a motive at this time, but they are saying that there's no threat to the community. Now, if you have any information, police want to hear from you. That number is on your screen, 240-549-4450. Well, former D.C. Deputy Mayor Chris Geldart had a court date for today. He's accused of choking a man in Northern Virginia, and that led to last week's resignation. D.C. News Now's political government reporter Leonard N. Fleming was in the courtroom. And Leonard, what happened today?
Chris Geldart, who resigned from D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's administration last week, was not in an Arlington County General District Court today. He waived the arraignment in the assault and battery case and could have a court date in a few months. Geldart, the former deputy mayor in charge of public safety and justice, was arrested October 1st after he allegedly choked a man in the parking lot of a Gold's Gym in Virginia. His attorney did not appear in court as well, and it's unclear whether he will plead guilty or not guilty. Questions also swirled on where Geldart actually lived. Administration officials are required to live in D.C., but Geldart listed his home in Falls Church. In an interview with the Washington Post, Geldart said he stayed part-time in D.C. with a friend to meet the residency requirements. He called it geo-bacheloring, a military term used to describe one military person living with another. Geldart is a former Marine. The mayor addressed his resignation last week.
I think that was serious. The response was serious, but I think what it was about nothing. But I had a face-to-face conversation with Deputy Mayor Geldart, and we agree that we both need to be focused on the big issues for D.C.
Geldart is listed on court documents as being back in court on December 8th, but his attorney says that date could change. Leonard N. Fleming, D.C. News Now.
Leonard, thank you. In Hyattsville this afternoon, DeMatha Catholic High School was on lockdown for nearly an hour. Police said that there was a threat. They locked down the school around 1:40 to check for weapons. They didn't find any. The lockdown was lifted nearly an hour later. Well, new tonight, a woman says that she was raped at gunpoint inside her Tyson's hotel room 2 weeks ago. Now police need help tracking down the suspect. It happened at a hotel on Westwood Drive in Vienna. According to police, the suspect came into a woman's unlocked room, flashed a gun, and sexually assaulted her. Police determined the suspect got on the Metro following the assault. He took the Silver Line to Metro Center, then switched to the Red Line toward Glenmont. Police believe that he lives in the D.C. area. If you recognize him, you can report your tips anonymously to Fairfax County Crime Solvers. Early voting has officially begun in the state of Georgia today, and all eyes are on the state. Most of the focus is on Republican Herschel Walker and Democrat Senator Gabriel Warnock fighting for the Senate position. Nearly 200,000 absentee ballots have been requested by people who live in the state. Over 4 million people are eligible to vote in the state this year, with the outcome of this election possibly shaping which party will control the Senate.
We have been encouraging people and letting them know that not only the senator race, but every race is critical, and we need to make sure that everyone votes.
Yeah, former President Barack Obama is expected to travel to Georgia to campaign on behalf of Raphael Warnock in early November. Also happening today, former President Donald Trump is expected to help fundraise for Republican candidate Dan Cox of Maryland. Tickets to the event are not cheap. It's going to run more than $1,700 for the event's private cocktail reception. A photo with the former president and Cox will cost $25,000. Well, Democrat candidate Governor Wes Moore will be in Hagerstown today. Moore is visiting local businesses for a walking tour. He is also headlining a fundraiser at the Maryland Theater later this evening. Well, we have an update on a 2-alarm fire that burned through the Mount Olivet Church in Arlington early Friday morning. An investigation by the Arlington County Fire Prevention Office found that the fire began in the attic of the building. They also say the cost of repairing the damages are estimated at around $1 million. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Well, a D.C. teacher got a big surprise on Georgia Avenue this morning. Mayor Muriel Bowser handed P.E. teacher Jamar Roundtree a $7,500 check after he was named the 2023 D.C. Teacher of the Year. Roundtree teaches pre-K to 8th grade at Center City Public Charter's Brightwood campus. He started teaching in the district in 2012. In addition to physical education, he also teaches students about mental health.
For the past 6 years, right here at Center City, Coach Roundtree has been a leader in promoting health and wellness in Washington, D.C.
This award isn't just for me. You know that. I do this work for all of you. I'm a team player, so this award is for everyone. I'm just honored to be here, to be in the situation that I didn't think I was in. And thank you all for being here and supporting me.
Yeah, Coach Roundtree is a Western Connecticut State University alum. He started his career at the YMCA in Danbury, Connecticut.